I wanted a Google Assistant smart display with good audio quality for listening to music, so I got the JBL Link View, which at the time was the undisputed king of audio in the Google smart display landscape. But that was then. Now there's another option, the Nest Hub Max by Google. Is the JBL Link View still the king? Let's find out as we try to simply answer the question, is it good? The JBL Link View debuted in 2018, and at that time there wasn't any serious competition for audio quality in the Google Smart Display market. But in 2019, Google introduced the Nest Hub Max, which supposedly had better audio quality than any Google-branded smart display to date. But is it any good? More importantly, is it better than the JBL Link View? I've owned them both for many months, and today I'm going to compare them with a focus on their audio quality. Now, before we get into it, I want to say that this is not a sponsored review. I purchased both of these devices with my own money, and I do not have any relationship with the manufacturers at this time. First, let's set expectations. These are small devices meant for countertops or end tables, and neither is capable of deep, soul-satisfying bass or powerful, wall-rattling volume. But despite their size, neither sounds tinny, and both get loud enough to be heard. Neither one sounds great, but they're both good enough. Don't expect too much and you won't be disappointed. Now let's get into the technical details, starting with the JBL Link View. For audio hardware, it has two 51mm, that's 2-inch full-range speakers at 10 watts of power and a 5-inch passive radiator that's mounted on the back. A passive radiator is like a speaker without a magnet. It vibrates when the driven speakers vibrate, due to changing air pressure inside the device. When the driven speakers move in, the passive radiator moves out. When they're designed correctly, passive radiators do a good job of increasing bass response, and this one is designed correctly. Since it's on the back of the device, if you place it against the wall, its bass response increases dramatically. JBL lists the frequency response at 60 Hz to 20,000 Hz, which is excellent for such a small device. Other notable features include an 8-inch screen and a 5-megapixel front-facing camera with a physical shutter to block it for privacy, and a separate microphone mute switch. This allows for a good deal of flexibility. You could have the mic on and the camera off for voice calls, or you could mute your mic and still use the camera for video meetings when you're not the presenter. It's also IPX4 water resistant, which is defined as splash resistant from any direction, so it would work well in a kitchen. It has Chromecast and Bluetooth built in. But something to note about the Bluetooth, you can connect to this device via Bluetooth, but not from it. This is extremely important. You can connect your phone to this device, for example, and use this device's speakers for audio, but you cannot connect external speakers to this device via Bluetooth and then use those external speakers for this device's audio. Now let's talk about the Nest Hub Max. For audio hardware, it has two 18mm, that's 0.7-inch tweeters at 10 watts of power, and one 75mm, that's 3-inch woofer at 30 watts. Google does not list the frequency response in the specs. Other notable features include a 10-inch screen and a 6.5-megapixel front-facing camera with an on-off toggle, which also controls the microphone. So if you turn off the mic, it turns off the camera and vice versa. It's not as flexible as the JBL Link View, which has individual switches for camera and mic. An interesting feature is the ultrasonic sensing. It broadcasts pulses of high-frequency sound too high for humans to hear, and it listens for the echo, similar to how bats navigate in the dark. It uses this system to detect people within 4 feet of the device, and it can modify its behavior based on how far away people are by changing the size of the display, text, and things like that. That's obviously a good feature, but does that ultrasound annoy pets? Dogs can hear frequencies that are much higher than humans, and cats can hear frequencies that are much higher than dogs can hear. Well, according to Engadget, Google has stated that even though the frequency used here is something dogs can hear, it is similar to typical noise in the home like that from a fridge. For what it's worth, it doesn't seem to annoy my cat. Another interesting feature of the Nest Hub Max is its ability to be used as a rudimentary security camera through Nest Aware, which is a subscription home monitoring service. I'm not going to cover that in great detail because I didn't personally use it, but I did test it during my trial and it seems to work. In a nutshell, you train the camera to recognize people that you trust, and when people that it doesn't recognize are in your home while you are out, you will get an alert letting you know that there are strangers in your home. It also supposedly listens for signs of trouble, like barking dogs, breaking glass, smoke alarms, etc., and it notifies you if anything suspicious is going on while you're away. It has other features for outdoor cameras too, like package delivery alerts and things like that. Again, I didn't test it thoroughly, so I'm not going to review Nest Aware, but it's something worth considering if you're thinking about the Nest Hub Max. The Nest Hub Max also has Chromecast and Bluetooth, but with notable differences from the JBL when it comes to Bluetooth capability. This device can connect to external speakers via Bluetooth, and you can set those external speakers to be your default music device. Also, unlike the JBL, it has a software bass and treble slider, which can be found in the Google Home app. This allows you to adjust the tone closer to your liking, which is a nice addition if a little hard to find. Now let's talk about the listening experience. How do they sound? Well, the first concern that most people have when it comes to audio quality of small devices like these is bass response. So, are these devices capable of producing low bass notes? I tested this by connecting my phone to each device and using a tone generator to play low frequencies. The results were surprising. The JBL Link View was able to produce an audible tone down to around 60 Hz, which is what they advertise. Below 62 Hz, the volume rolls off dramatically. The Nest Hub Max was able to produce a tone down to around 50 Hz. That's noticeably lower and was quite unexpected. However, there was an audible electronic buzzing sound generated on tones below about 80 Hz. I don't hear that when I'm listening to music, but it's very noticeable when playing pure tones. The volume rolls off at an astonishingly low 47 Hz. Overall, the Nest Hub Max has a much better low-frequency response than the JBL Link View. Now, there's more to satisfying bass than just low tones. There's also volume and clarity. The JBL Link View wins here. It's able to produce low tones with more clarity and authority, and it's more satisfying in the bass range. I wasn't able to test high-frequency response because, as you can tell from my gray hair, I'm old, and I can't hear anything, even approaching the maximum high-frequency response that both these units are capable of producing. They both sound good to me. Now let's talk about distortion at high volume. Here, both units perform admirably. However, neither one gets really loud. You can listen to either at 80% of full volume and it sounds fine, with no issues of flubbing bass or searing highs. Above 80%, they begin to struggle, but still perform admirably. I was surprised at how well they did in this test. Both units are quite usable at maximum volume. I've owned both of these for quite a while, about half a year. And as a music lover, I've listened to both extensively. My overall impression is that the JBL Link View is good, but it's dark, lacking highs, but with strong mids and admirable bass, which it produces quite well, especially at low volume. But mids are really at the forefront, and it's not adjustable. It sounds muffled compared to the Nest Hub Max. I asked my wife to compare the two, and she said that the JBL sounds like it's behind glass, and that sums it up nicely. Tone controls would have really helped here, but again, it doesn't have them. The Nest Hub Max, on the other hand, is brighter, able to present crisp highs. It also has deeper lows, although they aren't as powerful as those of the JBL Link View. It does have the all-important tone controls that I keep harping on, so you can adjust the sound to your liking. So which sounds best? The Nest Hub Max. Its brighter sound makes the JBL seem muffled by comparison, and its ability to produce deeper, although not as powerful, bass, plus its tone controls means it does a better job overall of filling the role of desktop audio device. Winner? The Nest Hub Max. But there's a better way to use these devices for your music, and that's to connect external speakers to them, either using Bluetooth, as I alluded to earlier, or Chromecast, freeing your music from the constraints of the tiny box. The Nest Hub Max, again, is at an advantage here. It's able to connect to external Bluetooth speakers, so you can have convenient, voice-controlled music that actually sounds good if you have a good set of speakers, such as a soundbar or bookshelf speakers, or perhaps a pair of Bluetooth headphones. I recommend using something along those lines in conjunction with the Nest Hub Max if you want better sound with the convenience of voice control. Bluetooth is the better way, but it's not the best way. The best way to connect external speakers is using Chromecast. Chromecast helps level the playing field between the two, and although it's not nearly as common as Bluetooth, if you can take advantage of it, you should check it out. Here's how it works. Using the Google Home app, you can select a Chromecast device or a group of devices as your default music output on either the Nest Hub Max or the JBL Link View. Maybe you have a TV or a soundbar, or better yet, a home stereo receiver that has Chromecast built in. You can select any or all of those devices as your music device of choice and have true room-filling or even entire home-filling audio that sounds quite good. Using Chromecast will let you get the audio quality you want, with voice control and the flexibility to tailor the sound to your liking. The smart screen will still use its internal speakers for everything that's not music, so it's very intuitive and convenient. So when it comes to flexibility, which is best? Again, it's the Nest Hub Max. Its ability to use external Bluetooth speakers isn't matched by the JBL Link View. They both have Chromecast, so that doesn't tip the scale. So there you have it. When you consider its superior sound, superior connectivity, and its lower price, on top of the other features that are unmatched by the JBL Link View, like its bigger screen, better camera, and other features that I didn't really cover in depth in this review, such as ultrasonic presence sensing and home monitoring, the choice is clear. To simply answer the question, is it good? The JBL Link View is good, but the Nest Hub Max is better. If you've gotten useful information today about the JBL Link View or the Nest Hub Max, please click thumbs up. That tells YouTube that you thought the video was helpful, and so YouTube will be more likely to suggest this video when people search for the JBL Link View or Nest Hub Max in the future. And if you want to see more reviews or want to help my channel grow, please subscribe. Subscriber count helps me get more products for review by telling manufacturers how many potential customers may see the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.